Good morning, y'all. It's your man Nico Bean with the Steam. I'm coming at y'all with the second episode for my Black Panther fan fiction. Um, yeah, so let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about how my character fits into the storyline so far for the Black Panther franchise of the MCU, and how I crafted a timeline for my character to be with T'Challa, and how everything basically meshes together. Um, so in the beginning, my character, like I said, he does not know he is from. He has roots in Wakanda, and he's actually in Nigeria right now. And well, not right now. He's in Wakanda at this point. But the way that I started off his story was his parents are from the are from two tribes, the Border tribe and the Jabari tribe. And so his mother being from Jabari and his father being from the Border tribe. And the way that I came about this whole thing was I personally put some of my aspect of what I'm trying to do with trying to find my roots in Africa, and I basically invested that into this character. And so when T'Challa finds him in Nigeria, he's basically a shield agent. Um, not really deep cover, but an, on an assignment to basically boost up resources. I mean, humanitarian mission, really. He's a brilliant scientist like T'Challa, and he knows how to work with molecules and molecular structures of certain basically substances. And so my character does is that, and he's also a very uh, tight knit tactician. Basically, he knows how to. He's a. I don't want to say he's battle hardened, but he is very good at fighting and knowing how to scale and calculate tactics. When he was at the Shield Academy for hopefuls, he took after Fitz and Simmons, and he studied the likes of Agent Coulson. He studied the moves of Captain America, stuff like that. And afterwards, his main Avenger that he liked to study was Hawkeye, and he learned how to become very fluent with a bow and arrow and a spear. He liked doing that because he does have record from there's very small interventions that was from Captain America Civil War when T'Challa was initially brought into the MCU. And so my character watched those events happen behind the scenes, and eventually he, after those events and during the Sokovia Accords, he followed T'Challa's footsteps and followed who he actually was. He didn't get inside information like that we have now, but since then, uh, my character T'Challa came across him via a science convention. My bad. And eventually, what he did, I have it right here. So let's see. Okay. So um, I'm gonna read this, and this is the T'Challa and Ndala mentorship arc. It's basically a brotherhood slash big brother mentoring little brother. This mentorship slash friendship between two geniuses started when T'Challa was researching for other ways to introduce Wakanda to the world. He started out in Lagos, Nigeria, where previously one of the main events happened that led to what is now known as Captain America Civil War. When T'Challa visited what remained of the building from the conflict between Cap's team and Crossbone's group of mercenaries, he started having flashbacks to the tragic loss he suffered in Vienna. Then T'Challa began to have thoughts on who his heir was going to be. Of course, it was something. If something was to happen to him while he was gone, his mother Ramonda would still be there to watch over Wakanda, but she wouldn't be able to take on the mantle of Black Panther. Then there was his sister Shuri. She was young and still had a lot of learning and growing up to do in order to become queen. So T'Challa had two options: either marry a woman he loved dearly or adopt children like his late father T'Chaka did. Later on during the week, T'Challa began hearing rumors of a brilliant young man who was studying a precious metal that was called adamantium. He was creating unique inventions and helping the people within a country where it was rich in adamantium. That country was Wakanda's sister country, Uganda. Knowing that adamantium was a rival to vibranium, T'Challa had valid concerns for the young scientist. In his research, T'Challa found that there had been multiple conflicts in which a vigilante was stopping miners and mercenaries from stealing and using adamantium for their own personal gain. He also discovered that this vigilante also went by the name of Black Panther and wore a suit similar to that of the suit that he had tailored for himself during the events of Civil War. In one file he had on him, the vigilante's combat skills and field tactics he portrayed were those of what he saw in certain people such as Captain America, Hawkeye, and other Avengers. The young vigilante who also displayed skills that even the Dora Milaje, even he himself, displayed in the field. This sparked a certain curiosity in T'Challa to find this vigilante and see who he is. This led to him attending a science convention that was being held in Uganda. It was in honor of a young man by the name of Nicholas Johnson. That is the character. Nicholas Johnson, who, by the files that T'Challa had on him, was a decorated sealed agent who had been assigned to Uganda to study adamantium for certain reasons. The files on him also read that he was more than just a decorated agent. He was also a scientist, and a very brilliant one at that. When he was in the Academy for Shield Hopefuls, he was at the top of his class in the field of science, along with significant presence within the area of combat and tactics. While at the convention, Johnson presented a new invention he had been working on that would revolutionize how people in Uganda would be able to get around and be able to move faster. It was a similar creation in which Shuri had created in order to mine and harvest vibranium from the Great Mound. During the recess of the convention, Ayo went to present T'Challa as an honorable guest, only to be surprised to find that Johnson had knowledge of who T'Challa was. This surprised T'Challa, for he knew the young man was brilliant, but not brilliant to the point where he had knowledge of Wakandan royalty. After the event, T'Challa asked to see his lab, in which Nicholas studied adamantium. Nicholas was stunned to be given such a request, but he gladly obliged. Along the way, T'Challa and Nicholas began to discuss the many unique properties that adamantium held and how it was able to become a good source of income for the people of Uganda. And so, from that story, T'Challa actually, after everything is said and done, um, T'Challa tells him that he does know that he put two and two together. My character is the vigilante that I spoke of, and he, I guess, the way I said it was for, I guess, 4 to 5 years that he was in Uganda studying adamantium, that he knew that it was a good resource for that certain country, and that everything from protecting the borders to protecting the source of their wealth, because that initially becomes their wealth. Um, my character, let's see. T'Challa then invites my character to Wakanda to study vibranium. That in turn leads to a whole slew of events that happens to basically lead him down a path to where he's able to find out who he actually is. And from that point on, he makes an adventure out of being in Wakanda, because at one point he actually becomes a citizen. And so from that point on, Nicholas goes from, and I think I can read this to y'all because this is good. Let's see here. Because he has a change of personas. Let's see. Yep, it's at the very bottom. Okay. Let's see here. Yep, right here. So, the transition of Nicholas Johnson to Prince Ndala. This transition of personas happened during Nick's time in Wakanda. It also it also partially took place due to his time in Uganda. While he was in Uganda, he took a very personal approach to the way he carried himself while he was on his assignment. But when he saw what he believed to be the most precious substance known to man was being used as a way of advancing warfare in certain parts of the world, he automatically felt like he had a responsibility to stop this madness. He started with getting intel on the known under the table arms dealers and war dogs turned war criminals. As he gathered more and more intel and evidence on what was happening in Uganda, he discovered stories from locals about a mystical being known as Black Panther. And from that point on, stuff from, like I said, preventing people from taking adamantium and basically making it into weapons, and taking his suit that he made out of adamantium, because he does make a suit. And I am trying to find a person that is really good with making basically super suits, drawing and stuff like that. My character is versed in not only political science and essentially political warfare, but he understands legal terminology. He understands politics, basically. And so my character goes from studying adamantium in Uganda to studying vibranium with Shuri. And when T'Challa brings Ndala to Wakanda, he learns that he learns of the lineage that he is from, and how far back his ancestors go in Wakanda. And so, in my next episode, I will tell you guys how he comes to meet Okoye and the Dora Milaje, and how he eventually becomes a part of the Hatut Zoraze under the tutelage of Akili, who is the leader of the Hatut Zoraze. And I'll say this, give you a little hint. He falls in love with a person from Dora Milaje. But I'll see you on the next one, and I'll talk to y'all later.